In this video, you'll see how to solve one-step inequalities by adding and subtracting. And what you'll see is the way we solve these can be very similar to what you did when you solved one-step equations, except there'll be an extra step because it's an inequality. So we have some sample problems here. Let's take a look at the first one. I've got negative 12 is less than or equal to m plus a negative 9. Right? I want to think about making this a little easier to solve. So I'm going to say this is negative 12 less than or equal to m. Instead of saying plus a negative 9, I'm just going to write it as minus 9. And to solve this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add the constant that's on the variable side to both sides of that inequality, just like I would do if this was an equal sign here. I get negative 3 is less than or equal to m. So instead of just leaving this here like this, I also want to graph my solution. Negative 3 is less than or equal to m. So I'm going to set up my number line. I've got my boundary here of negative 3. And I want to ask myself, is this going to be an open or closed circle? Well, it's less than or equal to, so I'm going to close it. And then I want to ask myself, negative 3 is less than or equal to what numbers? Right? What numbers are going to be bigger than negative 3 is another way of asking that. And that's going to be all the numbers over here. Because if I chose a number over here, like 0, is negative 3 less than or equal to 0? Yep, that works. Okay. And that's also how we check these inequalities. If I want to check this, so just like I said, I'm going to take negative 12 less than or equal to, and I'm going to choose 0 just because it's easy to work with. So I'm going to substitute 0 for m there. And then is negative 12 less than or equal to negative 9? Yes, so this checks out. All right, let's take a look at this next one here. I've got 14 is plus c is less than negative 26. So I'm going to solve this out here. I'm going to say 14 plus c. I'm going to subtract 14 on both sides of the inequality symbol. 14 minus 14 is 0, so I'm left with c is less than negative 26 minus 14. I get a negative 40. If I want to graph this, I'm going to graph this by making my number line here and making my boundary. And I've got c is less than negative 40, so it's an open circle. And I ask myself, what numbers are less than negative 40? All the numbers over here, negative 41, negative 42, and so forth. I can check this all by taking 14 plus, and I'm going to just choose any number over here that's less than negative 40. So I'm going to choose, let's just say negative 44, because that's somewhere over here. And that's going to be less than negative 26. If this is a true statement, then I've solved it correctly. 14 plus negative 44 is negative 30. And is negative 30 less than negative 26? It sure is. All right, and this last example here, again, I want to make this just a little easier to solve. So I'm going to rewrite it as 43 greater than or equal to y minus 11. I want to think about doing looking at the side with the variable. I want to eliminate this constant here, negative 11. I'm going to add 11 to both sides. And I get 54, drop down the same sign, greater than or equal to y. And now I just want to graph this. So I'm going to make my number line. Here's my boundary at 54. Open or closed circle, it is going to be closed because it's greater than or equal to, which makes it closed. And I just asked myself, 54 is greater than or equal to what numbers? So 54 is going to be greater than or equal to all the numbers over here, like 50 and 40 and so forth. So to check this, I'll just take 43 is greater than or equal to, and I'm going to choose 50 since it's somewhere over here where I've shaded. And then minus 11. So 43 greater than or equal to 50 minus 11. Well, 50 minus 11 is 39. Is 43 greater than or equal to 39? Sure it is. Right, here are some for you to practice on your own. Please show all the work and how you would solve it, and then just enter in the letter that represents the correct answer here. All right, now that you've solved this, let's see how we would do it. I've got negative 15 plus x is greater than or equal to 2. I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to 17. So I look for x greater than or equal to 17. It's right here. And yeah, that's the correct graph for it too, right? Closed circle, and it is going to the right. So B is the right answer. All right, this next one, I'm going to get 8 is greater than v plus 2. I'm going to subtract the constant that's on the variable side. I get 6 is greater than v. All right, so I see 6 is greater than v. I don't see that here, but I see v is less than 6, right? So I can just switch everything around and it means the same thing. If 6 is greater than v, then v is less than 6. Open circle here on 6, going to the left, because all these numbers here to the left are less than 6, so A is the correct choice. 13, greater than or equal to x minus 6. Again, looking at the variable side, I'm going to add this constant 6. I get 19. It's greater than or equal to x. I look here, I see 2 problems here with 19, and if I want to rewrite this, 19 is greater than or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to 19. That is letter D here. And last but not least, I've got v minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 8. Okay, again, looking at the variable side, I've got this negative 6 is the constant on the variable side. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. V greater than or equal to negative 2. So I look for v greater than or equal to negative 2. I see it here, and I see it here on B and C. So which of these graphs is correct? Well, v is greater than or equal to negative 2. So I want to have a closed circle. And what numbers are greater than or equal to negative 2? Negative 1, 0, 10, so forth. Everything here to the right. So C is the right answer. And that's how we solve one-step inequalities.